so good to see you, Amir, and welcome to Showbiz India.
It is an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Kite Runner, by the way, is one of my all-time favorite books. I read it years ago. I'm presuming you did as well?
I actually didn't read it till my callback. I had known the story, but funny enough, about 15 to 18 years ago, I actually was cast in like a one-man show version that was done for schools. So there was a project going around where they would go and tell the story. It was about like a 40-minute version. It had cut so much out. And then I wasn't unable to do it because of my schedule. So I was very familiar with the story. I hadn't read the book until the callback, and I cried 6 times reading it. I found it to be a page turner. It pulled you in so much. You could smell Kabul, you could feel Pakistan, and you could experience the flea market in America. I've never experienced anything like that. You know, as I'm working on the play now, I feel like I've been gifted with this 330-page manual for the character.
Amir's character is so layered and nuanced. Of course, you're a fine actor. How did you prepare for that role?
You know, initially I was hesitant, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it because initially I didn't care for the character. He's a hard character to get behind and to like. And also as an actor, you know, you're taught to make active choices. As an actor, you want to make active choices, and so much of the story he lives in indecision, and that's very hard to make indecision active on a stage or on a screen or anywhere. So of course there lies in the challenge. So when you're presented with a big challenge, of course then I want to tackle it. I want to see how I can unpack that. But there's a few things, and they happen in the play as well, that I had such a hard time getting behind. And I realized, look, it's not my job at this moment to like him. It's my job is to, can I help humanize him so that we understand him? His desire for Baba's affection, his want to be a writer, his unawareness of his privilege. You know, there's a great line where he talks about in the beginning of the book and of the play, he says, and I thought about my best friend. He talks about his son, but when he's 12 years old, back in Kabul, he says, he's not my friend, he's my servant. And that was a very hinge point for me. So he realizes now, or as an adult, you know, that that's his best friend. But at the time, he was unaware of the effect that the class difference was having. And so once I saw that, it's like, well, he was just naive. He was naive and privileged. And he never had a mom. I also relate that, you know, my dad he's not exactly like Baba, but he's a sweetheart, but he also was a little hesitant about me becoming an actor and having a life in the arts. And just like Baba is to Amir in the story. And also, I got to tell this story. I think Farhan might appreciate it. I don't know. When my character gets into college and Baba comes over and says, Amir, I'm proud of you. You know, he puts his hand, which is all the character of Amir wants. There's an idea in the script where I can actually look to the audience and say, wow, this moment just happened. When we were in rehearsal, I told the story of when I got into college and my dad got to Columbia, Ivy League. I wanted to go to acting school, but no, you have to go to, get an education. And he put his hands on my shoulders. Amir, very proud of you. I cried thinking about the moment. And I told that story, and Farhan goes, I want to do that. I love to steal moments from real life. And that is now in the play.
That is such a heartening story. It is believed that you left Blacklist after 9 years just to prepare for this role. Is that true?
Yes. Well, we were towards the end of the season, and when I got the appointment. And also, I just want to add something, and it ties in, is that it was actually in the callback. I still was struggling with getting behind the part. It was actually in experiencing the callback that I found the love inside of Amir. And then the keys unlocked for me. He's got a ton of love inside him. It's just confused. And we project our pain when we hate ourselves. And he's just doesn't know how to work it out inside. And so I just wanted to say that and it's something in my life, I'm always trying to lead with love. You know, we're so lucky, right?
Absolutely.
And so in terms of Blacklist here, my dream job was to always do, a role like that on a series. When the opportunity came along, they were going to conflict and I had to make a decision, and it was not easy. I mean, that is my family over there. and we had good conversations, and they have left the door open for me to come back, which is, I always imagined it would be there at the end, but I'm just trying to stay in the moment. I've done theater my whole life. I haven't been able to do it as much because of the Blacklist show schedule. The Kite Runner, the character's name is Amir. It's on Broadway. I mean, ultimately, it was a no-brainer. It was scary. This role is enormous and challenging. I've never encountered anything like this. No matter what, I was like, I have to step into this fire, and I don't mean fire in a negative way, but this major experience, for better or worse, no matter what happens, I'm at a point in my life where I have to fall forward into it.
You speak with so much depth and passion, and obviously that translates. You've done a lot of live theater, but is it another kick to be on Broadway?
Oh, honestly, we're in the dressing room right now. We're still in tech. I think our first performance is in like 5 days. I honestly, it hasn't hit me. I don't know when it will. Maybe after the first performance, it still hasn't hit me. I'm just rehearsing a play right now, and I'm like aware, and everyone's really nice, and there's all these wonderful staff here working at the theater. It's like, oh, this is the sound system in the theater is really good. And I was like, oh, this is Broadway, You have
such a childlike, endearing quality about you. It's so nice to hear you talk about the character with such love and complexity and passion. Why would you tell everyone, I can't wait to watch you, by the way, but what would you say to everyone? Why should they come out and watch Kite Runner?
Well, if you've read the book, it's a no-brainer, but especially because there's something a book can do. There's something that a movie can do, and there's something that theater can do that is unlike that. I believe theater actually creates magic. A novel is a personal experience. TV is like, it's almost literal. It's magical, but it's literal. Theater is a cathartic experience in the room. And the way this creative team, led by Giles Croft, is so creative. We have minimal sets, minimal props. It's all storytelling. So I would say that for those who have read the book, and for those who haven't read the book, you've got to come experience this story. Why not see it in the theater?
What would you say as an actor was the most challenging scene for you to perform on stage?
In my life or in this play?
In this play, or in life too, if it's not this play.
There are a number. The one that comes to mind is there's a scene in Act 1 when they're kids, when Amir and Hassan are 12. And it's after, for those who know, after sort of the incident that happened. I don't want to call it the incident. There's no right word for it. I don't like to say the word. But after Hassan has been, violence was perpetrated on him, my character didn't step up. And that guilt is overwhelming him so much that he can't face him. And when he does face him, it's technically a few months later, but it's only a few scenes later, Hassan just wants to know why they don't play anymore. And Amir can't face him. Until Hassan's like, but why don't we play? And he keeps asking and he keeps asking. So Amir says, you want to play? What would you do if I hit you? That seems so hard to do. But it feels theatrically satisfying because I know how important it is to the story. And in the book, he throws pomegranates at him. And he wants Hassan to throw a pomegranate back because he's projecting all his cowardice and calling him a coward when it's really, we all, the sages say when we project our hate, it's what we don't care about ourselves. And he's throwing pomegranates, but we can't throw pomegranates in the play for a number of reasons. And so that's why there's some changes. So he shoves him and he hits him. And then it gets a little more violent. That is so hard for me to do. It hurts so much, but that is the answer. That is the moment of the story where it is supposed to hurt so much. So you just have to. I was resistant a little bit to how much I do in terms of slaps and pushes, and then the director and fight director had to kind of coax me along. I was like, this is enough. He's done enough. And so that was something that I was resistant, but I knew I had to get there, and they helped me get there, and I know they're right, and it is right to do that for the story.
That was so heartfelt. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Reshma.
And thank you for being on our show, and we wish you continued success, and I can't wait to watch you.
Let us know when you're here.
I will. I will. And make sure if you like this video that you do subscribe to us. And we love to hear from you. So tell us your opinion right here. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications whenever we post something new.